Hi, I'm Ryan Manchee with Basis Technologies, and we are talking marketing innovation and advertising inspiration. And I'm joined by Jill Cress, CMO of H&R Block. Jill, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Chief Marketing and Experience Officer.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't
Don't want
mean
to lose
minimize.
sight of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about that. Before I even get to any of these questions, how do you break up those roles, and what's the different areas of focus there between the marketing and the experience side?
As we seek to become even more customer obsessed, we're always leading with customer data, customer insights, and the way we connect with our audience through media has to come to life through our digital product experience. And so one of the things that really attracted me to this role was extending. I've done some customer experience work in my past in building apps and working on Priceless.com when I was at MasterCard, but to have experience properly within my remit was really exciting because that's really where it all pays off, right? That is the brand, and the product is the experience, our .com, our apps, and how we meet the consumer in this very important moment that we have with them is a big part of the job. So in addition to brand, creative, PR, go-to-market strategy teams, I have the customer experience team, and it's really rewarding and keep learning.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very great. And you talked about it a little bit from your MasterCard experience, but you've got, between that, your experience now at H&R Block, PayPal, really rich kind of history background within the financial services. So I've got to imagine it's got to be so helpful with what you're doing to be able to grow, whether it's the experience side or general kind of marketing side. And you talk about how that experience has helped you become so successful in the role in over a year now, right, that you've been in it. And then maybe some of those things that you've learned for folks that are maybe not as familiar with that financial services category.
I had the good fortune to really start my career in earnest at MasterCard. I worked at a regional bank in Chicago. MasterCard was such a terrific company to grow as a human and to grow as an executive. I get people's relationship with money. It's a very intimate relationship, and the power of how we think about the things that we buy and what they mean in our lives. I detoured outside of financial services after 22 years at MasterCard, and I went to National Geographic, which was another very purpose-led brand. And we were very much on a digital transformation there, really taking all of our iconic print content and bringing it into the digital era. We were the most followed brand on Instagram when I started, but when I left, we had achieved over 100 million followers on Instagram. It was really incredible. And I found my way back into financial services at PayPal and Venmo. And I think this incredible opportunity to be at H&R Block, where we are motivated by our purpose, which is to provide help and inspire confidence around what is a complicated experience for many Americans, but also a really important point in time for them. For over 75% of Americans, their tax moment is their most important financial intake of the year. 75% of Americans get a refund. And so really ensuring that they get every credit and every deduction to maximize that opportunity is what we do. So we do taxes, but it's not why we do it. And we're expanding beyond taxes into financial services. So the exciting thing was I've worked on brands that are in transformation like National Geographic. I have the commercial experience of working at MasterCard and understanding people's complex relationship with money. And at PayPal, I learned growth marketing on an epic scale. We had anywhere from 300 to 400 million consumer clients when I was there. And so bringing all of that together for the next chapter of growth for H&R Block is a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like it kind of goes into what I wanted to ask you about next, the idea of telling that H&R Block story from that branding perspective, from just really authentic storytelling as you look to expand, as you kind of reinforce a brand that I think most people know, but maybe just because they recognize the locations on throughout any major city, right, throughout the United States. How do you create those emotional connections to tell that story to really elevate the H&R Block brand?
Yeah, you mentioned our locations. So during tax season, we have over 10,000 retail locations across the U.S. just to give context, Walmart has 4,500 locations.
Oh, wow, okay.
So there was a statistic, I don't know that it's currently validated, but at one point in time we were within 5 miles of every American.
Oh, wow.
And so what's interesting about that is our legacy for 70 years. That is our heritage and our expertise, is that human expertise and care that we provide to our clients and prospects, who are both consumers and small businesses, on this very important moment.
Yeah.
At the same time, we also provide online do-it-yourself tax services. And what's been interesting as we thought about how we went to market last tax season was we wanted to both lean into our legacy of being a retail, inhuman, expertise-known brand, but really disrupt ourselves and become more of a challenger brand in what we can do through hnrblock.com for consumers and our consumers and small businesses to do their taxes themselves with us. So our awareness of what we do in that traditional legacy H&R Block brand is incredibly high, 90+%. But if you want to do your taxes yourself, one of our competitors, TurboTax, owns that mind share with consumers. So this year we had to both lean into who we are and what we're so well known for, but also disrupt ourselves. And we became a bit of a challenger brand this year, and really decided to take the gloves off and take on TurboTax a little bit, leverage a little bit of their equity. We actually use their name in our advertising to reinforce that you could do the same things with our brand and take advantage of some of the pain points that they have from a customer satisfaction standpoint and things like that. So we had to be both functional and emotional. And to do that challenger brand thing, what we decided to do was to turn taxes on its head this year. And like when you say tax season, sometimes it brings like a sense of dread almost. It's like, oh my gosh, my taxes. But the end result for most Americans is positive. 75% of Americans get a refund. And so we actually launched our campaign this year with, it's tax season. Like it's, celebrate the season. It's an incredible financial opportunity. And we had some fun with it. And one of our best performing spots was a woman at a awards type ceremony, like a la, we had a green carpet for our brand, brand logo, which is green. But she was receiving an award for best performance in switching tax providers, and she does this cute little I did my taxes myself, and I switched from TurboTax to H&R Block. So it was really it was fun. So we brought a little humor into our brand, which I think is important for a legacy brand that needs to attract a younger audience.
Yeah, especially something that taxes can be daunting.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that you're able to make it more approachable, and the fact that hey, we're going to help you get all that money back that you can get every single opportunity that there is, that's incredible. I feel like people should be excited about it. So
maximum refund guaranteed.
Yeah,
maximum refund guaranteed all the time. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, and you think about who your customers are and prospective customers.
Yeah.
It's really any American, right? Adult, right? And the country is incredibly diverse, and I know that H&R Block has done some really interesting things focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, above and beyond kind of like a buzzword or hey, we just need to kind of rubber stamp it and say, hey, we did this. Can you talk about how you all have approached that, and maybe even how you thought about that within your marketing, within your advertising, the talent that you have, the partners that you work with, maybe even suppliers too that you may work with? What does that approach look like, and how have y'all really taken a stance to be, I hate to even say progressive, but just be smart about it?
Yeah, there's so much I could say, and I've already said a lot. So here's what I'd say. There's 150 million Americans that pay taxes every year. So it's a huge addressable market, and there's very small new entrants into the category. So to grow, it is really about getting people to switch from one way or another, but it's a huge addressable market. And so to do that, we do lots of traditional marketing that we've already talked about, but our brand purpose comes to life through two really important platforms for H&R Block. One, which is called Make Every Block Better. So we are a founder-led company. We were founded by two brothers, Richard and Henry Block, almost 70 years ago in Kansas City, where our headquarters still are. and they believed deeply in what I shared earlier, which was our purpose, making this moment easier, providing help and giving expertise and care, and then really investing in those communities at a local level. So we talk a lot at H&R Block about what we cherish through that founder-led mentality, while we also change and transform. But one of the things we cherish very much is our investment in the community. So we invest at the local level across the US. We have partners with Habitat for Humanity. I had my team out last year renovating homes in Kansas City. So it's very much like understanding what are the priorities of the local community, supporting food instability, doing work with Habitat to provide economic growth. Like what happens with Habitat is, when homes are in better shape, the economic stability of those neighborhoods rises, right? So we do that. The other thing that was a really exciting platform for us was a program called A Fair Shot. When the NCAA allowed student athletes to earn sponsorship dollars for their name, image, and likeness, we realized this was going to be a big potential tax conundrum for students who all of a sudden had all this income, and perhaps when their tax bill was due, they wouldn't have been prepared. So we wanted to provide tax support to student athletes who were newly creating all this income and fame and influence. What we found was that female athletes were only getting 23% of those sponsorship dollars. So we pivoted and we created a platform that created a conversation around the inequity in sponsorship dollars going to female athletes versus male athletes, and we called that A Fair Shot. So beyond that, we believe deeply in diversity, equity, and inclusion through how we hire the amazing talent that we have, all the way up to our board, which is more than 50% women. So it's really near and dear to being a community-led brand, and how we've shown up for over 70 years, or close to 70 years.
That's awesome. I think it's great where it's like continuing to try new things, but also knowing that it's such a core of your foundation already. It's not like you're deviating too far from what y'all already believe. And it started from the very beginning. That's incredible.
And it's who we are. Like that for A Fair Shot, it was help this new audience. And what's been amazing is it's really resonated with Gen Z and students. Brand favorability was up over 30 points last year with that audience, because we're showing up in a really fun and meaningful, fun through the content, but meaningful through the work that we're doing with these athletes.
Yeah, it's very smart, very smart. So I know that's like one campaign, all the overarching campaigns that you all offer. When you think about some of the different paid media activations, where have you seen some success on some of the channels, some of the platforms that are out there? There's quite a bit to be able to choose from, and I've got to imagine some are a little bit more effective than others. Have there been some experimentation and some good success maybe you want to highlight?
Sure. Well, again, this year was about disrupting ourselves and being uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, and so we did lots of traditional media tactics. But we activated in really fun new ways across platforms like TikTok, where we continue to have great success with the Fair Shot, where our female athletes came in and we did a hashtag challenge where they talked about women who inspired them, and it was incredibly successful. We use TikTok a lot for financial services. But again, in getting into new channels and reaching new audiences, one of the things that we had an insight that when people do their taxes and they finally sit down, often music is involved. And so we worked with Spotify last year to curate a tax prep playlist. And so it was just fun for the brand to show up in new ways with new audiences. And we also did some local activations for the first time. We've got 10,000 retail locations, and so we rocked up in New York City with coffee trucks, and we did the W2 brew, and we gave away coffee during tax season, and just bringing the brand to life in ways that are fun, relevant, and human. So more to come on that.
I love that. Well, thinking about the more to come, we are in the south of France. We're in Cannes. Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And there's some buzz up and down the Croisette. Talking about some of these new and emerging technologies. I'm interested your perspective, Jill. Maybe even like some thinking that you had prior to come into the other side of the world. Is there an emerging technology that you feel like is just completely overblown? Is there anything that maybe is on the other side that it's emerging, but you feel like, you know what, that's something that we need to look at, or that may revolutionize the industry?
Well, I don't think there's a conversation that's happening here where we've waited this long to talk about the topic of AI. Every single discussion, whether it's supposed to be a conversation about AI or not, is it's a very, very hot topic. So is it overblown? No. I think just wrestling with what is old AI versus what is new generative AI. We prepare taxes. We have 70 years of tax data, so AI and really using that to learn and to understand how we can say the things we do, like maximum refund guaranteed. We actually are able to use historical approach to AI to look at previous year's tax returns to uncover additional refunds. So AI is very much a part of how we do what we do.
It's always been, right?
Yeah, it always has been. And now getting into generative AI and what that's going to do in the way of how we can provide even more value, how we can, speed really matters. If you're getting a refund and you generally want it fast. So we're launching some new partnerships that we're really excited about to bring us into what generative AI will unlock for us as a brand, but for our customers to be able to do a better job for them. So I guess that's the topic. That's the topic of the day.
So it's kind of a little both, right?
Both, right?
It may be a little overblown, but when we go beyond the broad sense and find those specific applications, there's some real opportunity.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I feel like I can't learn enough fast enough.
Yeah.
And I think with Scott Galloway was talking this morning at the WPP beach, and he was saying with every disruption, going back to the industrial revolution, things will change, people will lose jobs, but then more jobs will come of that. And so we have to be prepared. We have to be ready, we have to be curious, we have to be learning, so that we're able to, as leaders, embrace what's happening so we can continue to do great things for our clients.
Don't fear the change, but don't over buy into the hype, I guess, right?
Yeah, and just get there and learn and figure out how to test into it in ways that are smart for your business.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to hear maybe over the next year the ways that are smart for H&R Block's business and some great new things that you come up with. But I can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your very busy schedule to sit down and chat about some advertising inspiration and some marketing innovation. So thank you so much, Jill.
Happy to do it. Avec plaisir.
Yeah.
À tout à l'heure.